Welcome back, Mr. X.
I was chugging water, man.
ESR. Ben is just chugging water. The Quickscope. Bring it back. Obviously, you guys know the rules. You throw the graphic up. Just let the people know how to vote. Hashtag Quickscope Ben if you think Ben is correct. Hashtag Quickscope Matt. Obviously, you vote for the people's caster. You are the people. That's what you're supposed to do. It's exactly how you do it.
Make sure you vote on Twitter, too.
On
chat.
Yep.
Chat doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
This week, I'll be the neutral party asking the questions. I'll be...
So, I'm disclaimer. Immediate disclaimer. The questions this week for this particular show are more kind of topics of conversation as opposed to having a right or wrong answer. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. Obviously, we're going to argue as if there is. But after each question, we should have a discussion. And having you on is going to be really interesting as well because you can kind of give that neutral opinion to the people.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
All right, guys.
All right.
So
question one, Will. Who goes first, Ben? You wrote the questions. I go first.
You go first.
All right. Matt, do we have too many events? Lay that right on the table for you.
Yes. We do have too many events. I think having so many events kind of ruins the fact that, like, we saw FaZe versus Optic Gaming, right?
Right.
It's like, how many times a year do we see that on LAN? I feel like we see that, like, 7, 8, 9 times, like, throughout the year. And it's like, because we see it so many times, it kind of ruins the special opportunities to see that, right? Like Envy versus Optic, like, everyone should always be hyped for, like, an Envy Optic match. And it's like, well, you know, we know they're the seeded pro points. Like, we have so many tournaments that then seeds don't change in between events. That's like, oh, we see it all the time. So it kind of ruins the special feel these matches should have. I think we should, I love the idea of open events. I think it should be a lot of invitationals with maybe 1 or 2 open events in there. And then, like, the relegation tournaments and stuff also. But I think the big name teams you should only see fighting each other often. Like, not often. That's what I meant, sorry.
So would you base more on line play? Because I think that's the counter argument to this is if you don't have that many events, you're basing it a lot more online. So, like, for example, CSGO really works in that. That structure really works in CSGO. CSGO players actually don't like having that many events.
They hate events.
They complain. They complain. That's due to things like the game meta developing, and, like, for COD it would be things like the updates. But would you really want to see more online play over...
I think if you structured it right...
Because when we talk about
events, if you structured it right to where it was... Like, if the league had, like, 2 different divisions, let's say, and, like, maybe, you know, you played out of division games, like, twice throughout the year, right? And then you played teams in your own division, like, 4.
See, when you say divisions in my mind, and in anyone from Europe's mind, you're talking about... Like, regions? You have one... Oh, no. So that's where you've already lost.
No,
like
see,
East-West?
I'm thinking, like, East-West. You couldn't really break it up by where players lived in teams, because it would be too hard. I think you can kind of get it close. You can kind of get it close.
An AB, I think. Like,
I think you get like an A division and a B division, and then let's say, no, maybe 1 week in one of the months, the A team goes to the arena and they play a whole bunch of matches against each other on LAN. Because you figured it out. It's like nobody would complain if they got 1 series against every other team in the league on LAN.
But hold on,
I think that's doable at some point in the structure.
But that would be giving more events.
No, it's just like a mid-season split.
Which is
and
another
you're getting rid of.
But that's an event.
But you're getting rid of all of, like, the open. Like, when you say event, what do you consider an event? Anytime anyone plays on LAN?
Yes.
See, I think of like UMG Cali.
Yeah.
I think of like majors.
ESWC, UMG, the relegation tournament coming up. Like all of those different events, when you put them all together, that's an event.
See, I wouldn't consider like a mid-season split where people just play like
one that event.
No, I think they're just playing league matches on LAN.
Interesting.
Like, I wouldn't consider that an event.
Does having the amount that we do really diminish in your eyes the hype that an Optic FaZe match would be to you?
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with the original question, by the way. Completely agree. I don't know how I'm winning. That's just bemusing me. What I would really like to see is less events, bigger prize pools. So let's say I'm an event organizer. Let's say the Red Panda Army, we're doing events. We do let's say we do 5 events a year, right? That's a decent amount, and each one has, let's say, a 50K prize pool. I would much rather reduce that and give each one like a 100K prize pool, because that has a bigger impact.
I'm not too familiar with like League. Like, what do they do? Like event structure throughout
Well,
the year?
see, this is where it kind of
They
gets
have
into
regions that they serve.
right. This is where it gets really strange because it's like their pro league, the LCS, is played on like line.
When?
Yeah.
And then they have an event after every season. I guess.
Right. So how long are their
And the
seasons?
Worlds.
Let's say
Is it like
like quarterly.
Well, they have
Ron would know this answer better than I would. I think it's like 3 months now because I stopped watching since I moved because I can't play the game, so it really
they have
aggravates me.
2 splits that they're
There's 2
sort of
splits,
like
yeah. All that stuff about the Pro League, we'll get to later on because there is a question about the Pro League. I won 1-0. Ka-ching! No idea how because I secretly
He agrees with me. I don't know how.
Anyway, all right.
Anyway,
Second
right.
question.
All right. So, Enigma 6 to Cloud9. A lot of hype over this recently. Was it
You can answer
or
this
is it?
first, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna lose it regardless. But
I think so. I think there's really good arguments either way.
Was E6 going to Cloud9 ever a possibility, or is it a possibility now?
I don't think so, but there's a big argument that could have been. I personally think E6 don't need to make a move like that.
Okay.
They own their own organization. You know, they've got money. They don't need to worry. They're also building a very good brand. Like you see them, they have their own shoes, for example. Like that was
cool.
pretty badass. Like I really don't think it was necessary. I think though one thing which would kind of be the counter argument to this is guaranteed Pro League spot, because C9 could just come in and be like, hey, team in Pro League, let me buy your spot, and they could throw with that much money that you can't say no at that point. That's the only reason I think it was possible.
I mean, what side do I have to take here? That it was a
Yeah.
possibility. Yeah, it was a possibility.
You don't think it was?
No,
Ever?
no,
Why?
no. Cloud9 wouldn't pick up a team like that.
Why?
They're not established enough.
But are they?
If Cloud9 was going to come in Call of Duty, they would get a team with somebody who they could make like a brand. Like when they bought the team off of us at Cole, Counter-Strike team, like you knew like nothing was like a brand. Like you knew like Chungaris, like we had Hiko at the time. Like you knew like you could turn those guys into personalities. Like they still hold on to nothing in Sean because like they're like some of the best personalities in Counter-Strike. They wouldn't just pick up a team blind like that.
Really?
They would go after a team that had a good personality, like already established.
I
think-
think that better than I do.
I think like I mean, if you're just kind of like throwing like darts at like a board, I would say like Elevate would have been a possibility. I would say they weren't there. I would say even Denial. Like they would definitely be interested in Denial.
I don't know.
Trying to think who else there would be.
I don't think E6 need to.
Oh, E6
Yeah,
definitely doesn't need to move.
right.
I don't think that's the thing. It's like, well, if Cloud9 was going to pick up a team, like who would it be? I mean,
Fair.
they're not going to come in and
I think it was
pick
just
up
coincidence.
anyone.
I think
Yeah,
it
it
was
was just coincidence, I think.
because I think you would have heard something. There'd be actual solid rumors. The only rumor obviously that
Yeah.
came out was E6 or Cloud9. I think the voting poll may be backwards because
Nah,
I won the
that's
first one
right.
somehow. You just won the second one somehow.
Yep.
Even Will is like, this makes no sense.
What have I done?
Yeah, right. It's backwards day.
Yeah. All right. So
on
1-1.
to the next.
Hit him with the
We're
jazz
1-1.
hands. All right.
So recently there was a tweet from Parasite that said, low-key, could have been on Crim's level if I could have just shut my mouth and not burned bridges. Oh well. How badly will Parasite burning his bridges cost him?
It already has cost him. It's going to cost him big time.
You reckon it's already cost him?
Yeah, absolutely. It's already cost him. I mean, look at like he's clearly a top 10 player skill-wise. He's not on a team that's in contention. Like that sucks. Like to be that good and not on like a team because of just kind of like the past things way you've acted towards teammates and whatnot. And like I mean, sometimes I don't think it's really all his fault. I mean, it's got to be frustrating like playing the situation you're in. But it's definitely hurt him. I don't think there's anything to die. I mean, this is a guy who he should be in contention to make the finals every time. Like he's that like he is one of those type of players. Like the fact that he's where he is now, and it's like, well, when this ends, like where does it go now?
Well, I feel like the same thing happened this time last year, right? At the end
Right.
of Ghost, he was left in a similar position, and everyone was like,
But
"Oh,
then
he's burned
everybody
too
gave
many
him a second
bridges."
chance this year.
Exactly. COD has a very short-term memory.
Is this a cyclical thing? Do you think this will continue?
Yeah.
He'll keep getting chances with every game?
He's that good.
He's
going
so
to get
good. Like,
chances.
you can't. It's like you look at like Aches, that team they made for champs, right?
Yeah.
He was picked up because he was that good. Like, people didn't want to team with him because it was, hey, let's team together, Matt. We're gonna have a jolly time at champs. It's gonna be great. It was, oh, you can shoot things and you're actually really damn good. Like, I don't like you as a person, but you're actually good at this game, so I'm gonna give you a shot. If someone is that good, opportunities are always gonna be there. I personally think. Yes.
The well-run try eventually, man.
Oh, here we go. Hit me with some more old-fashioned
I
sayings.
was not the best teammate when I played. And when I
But
say
could you
not
always
the
find a
best,
teammate? Could you always find a team, though?
for my first, like, 2 years, 2.5 years,
Did there come a point at the end of your career where you were like, all right, I'm really good, I want to play, but no one will team with me?
It actually, it was to a point where I couldn't get on the team that I wanted, just because they were, like, all together. And then I was just like, well, I don't want to play with anybody else.
I just feel like every single time we have Roster Mania, the same conversation comes up. And it's like, well, where's Parasite going to go? He can't find a team. It's like, he's found his way onto... Let's assess what happened last time he was on FaZe. Like, the time before, everyone...
Doug?
Yeah, no, like...
And Killa?
In
And
Ghost.
Karma?
In Ghost.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, he's never going to be on FaZe again. He's never going to represent that brand. And guess what? He was playing for FaZe again. Like, I don't know. I just think...
I think it's hurt him.
He's now on TK, one of the most respected organizations in terms of like the way they kind of come across. Like, they have great YouTube, social media presence, always been really good. And now Parasite's on that team. Like, that's the least likely organization, besides maybe like an Optic Gaming.
He's been on Envy and Optic.
He's been on all the. That's where it does worry. How many organizations has he not been on?
How many organizations? like, is there going to be another organization? Like, I think if he wanted to join Optic Nation, like, I can't see Hector being okay with that.
No way. No way. Yeah, let me
I
find
couldn't see,
out.
like-
Cloud9 coming in. Christopher
Cloud9
Dubois.
picks up Parasite. They make up a team around him.
I mean, they could.
He has a
Yo.
personality. It's just, is that the quality of personality Cloud9 wants to pick up?
Yeah.
I mean, they always pick up really good players, right?
Yeah, he's
that's
a
kind of
great
like
player.
that's what Cloud9 do.
Yeah.
They pick up some of the best players. He's definitely one of the best. But overall, he's burnt so many bridges, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's burnt so many bridges. Nice that he's finally come to a realization of it with that
Right.
tweet.
But then
Obviously,
you just got to change. I mean, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
but how many times do you see people try and change and then they just... I feel like Parasite said he was going to change and
That's
nothing
what I'm saying.
happened.
No, yeah, we've seen this before. Anyway, I won.
You win.
Yeah.
2-1.
Matt wins 2-1. Next question is, should we start looking for more uplink maps?
100% yes, but it shouldn't be DLC. DLC hasn't worked. Like, we tried it, great, whoop-de-doo, 10 out of 10 for effort, drift, search, and destroy, thrilling game mode, clearly, yeah, absolutely. Whoop-de-doo. Uplink, best game mode, take them out of Advanced Warfare, most intense matches, but my worry is, we have like another 5-6 months left, and we have 3 maps that we're watching the same game type played on over and over and over again. We need more. Like,
Yeah.
whether we look at, I heard some players say Retreat could be potentially a good one. Solo was pretty bad.
At that point, are you just like fishing for like a map? Like, I don't think we should add a map just for the sake of, I think we need more maps.
Really?
I think we should add a map because it's a
So-
good map.
What about like Black Ops 2? When you think about back to Black Ops 2,
Yeah.
like we watch the same
yeah,
map
more.
rotate. Exactly.
And then we said the,
And we see
the answer
more
is to
AW.
add DLC.
But the DLC isn't good enough. Which again then goes back to that point. If the map isn't good enough, you should add
Right,
it.
so now we're back in this, like, it's a
Right, it's never
forever
ending
ending circle.
But,
So it's like,
with the spawns being changed on a lot of these game types, we haven't really tried them.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
for all we know, the maps that we kind of went into day one was like, yo, this is
I mean, me and you
freaking
didn't
awful.
hate like Green Band with it.
Yeah, I like
it.
Green
I
Band.
liked Green
I'm
Band.
gonna be honest, Green Band was a fun ass map.
Yeah.
Like Green Band Retreat works
Green
really,
Band
really
was hella
well.
broken because of the passing at the beginning.
Yes, because
Like-
I could just see I'm like, yo, Matt, catch, and just throw.
But
the
we've
drone.
never gone back and
Which is the
revisited some
thing.
of those.
I think that needs to happen. I think now, like coming to the end of season 2, like the maps are already built in, we should be going back and testing because Uplink will get stale. There is no doubt in my mind that this game type will get boring because we have 3 maps.
You think,
And one of them is broken. Like, Biolab isn't that good.
you think it's boring?
Biolab Uplink's not bad.
Compared to Detroit and compared to Comeback.
Biolab CTF is bad.
When
Give you that.
all right, when I'm casting and I see Biolab Uplink up next, I'm not like, yes! I'm like,
I kind of like it.
You see a Detroit, you see a Comeback, and you're like, okay, this has the potential to be one of those games where you're going to go back and be like, this was sick, this was awesome. name the last like epic Biolab uplink that we saw. If I said Detroit, you immediately think of like TR at Champs.
Oh,
Say comeback, Jesus Christ, there's that many comeback uplink
Right.
games, which has been insane. Biolab just doesn't have that. And I
No.
think we just need,
it's not.
I think we just need more maps.
It's not as high score.
like Will, like you work with the game like pretty much every single day. Like,
Watching Uplink, I remember for the first time when we did it at the Columbus Open, it was the most hype. It continues to be the most hype.
right.
Honestly, I would just love to see more of it. I want to see Green Man. I think that's the looking through the AW maps that I do know. I think Green Man is the only one that would be like super fun to play on. We should do testing. I think.
I agree. Ascend uplink was really broken because you could spawn in the other person's base.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now they apparently patched that. That's
Okay,
on the
good.
subreddit earlier on.
Good.
I was like, woohoo!
You can't
Improvements.
spawn on the other team's goal. That's
Improvements
awesome.
have been made, but I don't know. I'm just really worried that it's gonna get stale because there's so much COD, right? There's so much pro.
Don't
League.
Cheese tells me to tell you to shut the hell up. That's what he wants me to say.
Who?
Don't cheese.
Don't Cheese. He said tell Benson to shut the hell up.
All right, you want to watch 3 maps for the rest of the year? Be my guest.
I have a
Enjoy.
question about Uplink maps. Out of the DLC ones that
DOS,
have been
DOS.
released,
Mhm.
which ones are the best for
None.
Uplink? None of them?
Absolutely not. You could argue.
You just pick
Was
one.
it Chop Chop? That was CTF though, right?
No.
No.
We
No,
tried.
none of them.
Yo, I
They've
like
all,
that.
They're all
Yo, let's go
really
with
bad.
Perplex. The one
So
where
the-
you gotta jump
So
on
this is
top
the thing
of
with
100
DLC.
buildings.
DLC is made to make the new player or the average player go, yo, this is cool. It's shiny. It's new,
Right.
which is great. But the maps are always like impressively like, yo, this is a great like concept. I'm surprised it doesn't work.
Right.
It's like Perplex. The uplink drone is like
I do like
1,000
that
feet
map. I like that map.
All right, so we're tied at what? 2-2.
Yep.
Over to Matt.
Going to the next question. Should the Pro League last all season?
What does that mean?
Oh,
All
yeah.
year.
The same teams all year?
No, as in, should the Pro League, the way it's structured right now, last all year? So, the Pro League starts when the game comes out.
Yes.
And it ends when the next game comes out. Would you keep it that way, or would you change it?
I would change it.
Okay, explain.
Oh, I would actually start Pro League after Champs.
After Champs?
I would start the first season of Pro League right after Champs. I would make before that
All right,
this
that's really
whole
weird.
massive build up to Champs. Maybe that's where you have your open events. Maybe you have like the qualifiers for League on LAN. Like you have like 2 or 3 events in there where you take a few teams in and they qualify for the league. I think, and then you do the build up to Champs, and then it gives you something to like something big like after Champs, because we're already doing the Pro League like before Champs, and then you go into the second season and it's like not like as like a hype. Like you start the Pro League right after Champs. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I disagree. But the way Pro League is right now, that's the biggest source of practice for players. Shouldn't be, but it is.
No, it shouldn't be.
But I would like to see Champs. The reason I'm going to disagree is because I would like to see Champs change to the end of the year. Because that's like
Okay,
the-
well,
right.
well, if I could change where Champs is, okay, then
Right,
we're
but
talking
even-
something
but even
different.
so-
But
even so,
I didn't know that
what I
was
would
an
do-
option in this question.
All right, so what I would do is I would change the Pro League
There's that
massively.
Champs mentioned once in the question.
Great. But
Yeah,
even
point.
keeping Champs the way it is right now, what I would do is I would have like a month before Champs and a month after Champs is off season, just off season where you don't play. Because
But then there's no point to start it and then stop. There's no point to start it
Yeah,
and
of course
stop.
there is. You
No.
have, yeah,
Then
you have
really
one
just
big
like
event.
only have
Confuses the
2
people
seasons.
even.
Huh?
Then at that point you would really kind of only have
People
2
are
seasons.
people are
Right,
confused.
which I think makes more sense. I think right now
Nah,
there's too much Pro League.
People are confused of where we are in the season anyway, like
Which
where
would
teams are.
give you less.
Right, but
Season.
to start it and then end it and then come back and be like, hey, surprise, we're back, and then it's
Right.
like
Because then
explain everything
all right,
again.
every single Champs you see teams make team changes.
Right, so just do it after Champs. So I don't understand.
But you would have a Pro League where players could practice. You have a big LAN event before, like a month before
the practice for Champs shouldn't be
No, I agree, but that's the point.
Pro League.
That's the point. You then give players a month after season 1
I don't know.
finals.
I think if there's
to make
nothing
as many
going
team
on-
changes as
If there's
much
nothing going
practice.
on, like Call of Duty wise, around Champs time, and you just hype up Champs even more, Champs is that much bigger, and then the Pro
But
League
that-
is
but
that much bigger going out of that.
But that-
And who
you're
says
doing-
the
you're still
Champs-
doing the same.
Who says the Champs placings couldn't determine who gets into the first season of Pro League? Like, how much bigger would Champs be then? Because then, look, we wouldn't have this situation where TR isn't in the Pro League. You know?
Well, then it's like, well, should Enigma 6 be in the Pro League? You just saw them
Would you-
go toe-to-toe with the best team in the game.
Would you have a mid-season point where you have some sort of relegation at that point?
You can do
Mid-season?
mid-season relegation. Mid-season.
No,
Or you
I
can
think-
bring teams in.
I think
middle
the
of season.
best way I would do Pro League would be you did an East and West Conference.
Okay.
Whether the players live, maybe to qualify for the West, you have to have 3 players that live West Coast. Something a lot. I don't know what, but this is just the theory. So you'd have a West Coast division and East Coast division, each with, let's say, 8 teams
Right.
per division. I guess that could maybe work. And then you would send maybe the top 4 from each division to an event. So you would play 2 games against everyone in your division. You would play 1 game from someone cross division. Actually,
What's
no.
your-
You would play 2 games cross division, and you would play maybe 2 games in your division. So you play less games overall, and obviously host would switch. You would get 1 game on host, 1 game off host, which is fair at that point. Everyone gets a game on and off host. And you could try and maybe do something along those lines, and then the top 4 from each division get through, and then you play the big event. But I would also send both conferences to an event where they could play their games.
Absolutely.
Somebody made a
Sorry,
good point
no.
in the chat.
I would change it. West and East would play each other once online halfway through the season.
Vulcan made a good point in the chat. You think you don't do the Pro League before champs because then you had the same situation that we had this year with like teams like having 2 teams. Like
No, I
champs teams
disagree.
and Pro
See,
League
that's the
teams,
point.
like,
The reason that happened was because the Pro League ended like 2 weeks before champs. Yeah, you could end it a month and a half. You could end 2 months. But what I'm saying is, you should have the league at the start to create structure for the whole year. Because that's what
You
essentially
knew
what
the
it does.
structure is going to come in at one point, so you might as well just let
Let's
champs
start with
run
it.
its way.
Just start with it. You have to have 1 event before champs.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense not to.
You're wrong. Anyway, last question.
Anyway. Matt
I
wins.
won that one. Yep,
So he's up.
as usual.
Should an event organizer hold a Black Ops 2 tournament?
Yes. 100%. Going into Black Ops 3. Makes sense to do a little bit of Black Ops 2. It's hype. First of all, I would want to see it. I would want to cast it. You could even do it where teams could like go with the old. I know this is something that you talked about. Do like your old teams come back. Like how cool would
Yeah.
it be to see the old call? But then again, the new optic right now. How good at Black Ops 2 would they be? But I don't think it would make much sense.
I'd like to see it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense from the standpoint that equipment-wise, it's like we've already all gone out and
Right.
bought Xbox Ones. We all have Xbox One scubs. It's like, do I have to go buy 360 now? Do I have to go buy Black Ops 2 disc? Do I have to go buy another? Like a lot of people got rid of that equipment when they got the
right.
Xbox One. I think that's even for a tournament organizer to have that equipment be kind of difficult.
What if like the Pro League teams?
Like
If there was, like, a
invitational,
special invitational?
Okay, then that's I think we can swing that.
Rather than an open. I think an open is like
An
completely
open
off the
is
question.
Opens out.
An open is
Definitely.
completely out of the question.
Although I reckon, and this is the scary part, if we did a Black Ops 2 Open, I think more teams would sign up for Black Ops 2 Open in North America than AEW Open. Despite
I
having
wouldn't-
equipment,
I
despite
wouldn't
having
disagree with
equipment,
you. I wouldn't disagree with you.
I think there'd be so much hype. So much hype. It'd be so sick to see. I really hope someone actually does it. But when would you say would be the ideal time to actually do that?
October.
October? Well, like right before the new year.
Yeah. Right before
I
the
mean,
game.
that's
Why
like the
wouldn't you?
perfect
Because-
time to do it for just from a pre-Black
Ooh.
Ops 3 release
I would do it
standpoint. Like a
3 days
tentpole
before
program,
Black Ops 3 comes out.
Just because Black Ops 3.
And then I would, in fact, I would spend a week, right? 2 days before Black Ops 3 comes out, we have a Black Ops 2 event. Black Ops 3
I would
comes
make them
out,
play the final.
bam,
I would
Black
make them
Ops
play the
3.
finals on Black Ops 3.
No, you would just do a whole different Black Ops 3 event.
Wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't
A day
there
later.
a tournament like back in the old like CPL days that like had people
I
play
think it did. In multiple
finals
games,
in
right?
like multiple games? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it was like one of those early esports gaffes that's just like, hey, we're gonna make you play this tournament on one. I think it was a Counter-Strike tournament. I think there was a
No.
tournament where
Played like
and
1.6.
someone in chat back point.
You played, like, a
fact check
few
me.
different
someone,
games.
They played 1.6 and then the finals were source or vice versa, and everyone lost it.
That's amazing.
Like that is just
Yeah.
terrible decisions in esports.
How not to run an
Yeah.
esports
Right.
event.
100% agrees with me. I have won the Quickscope today. Congratulations to myself.
No one
We
saw
have
that
a-
coming,
Let's go right into Beyond the Scoreboard.
No
Yeah.
one saw that.
I'm gonna go right into Beyond the Scoreboard.
First of all, before we do, Will,
Yeah,
how much of E6 do you know about?
I know they're from Michigan.
You're about to learn, Mo.
You
I
know
know.
as much as I did going into UMG Cal.
I know that these guys are like local legends in Michigan. They kind of I know that the Michigan esports event they sort of been working that for a while. I've honestly before UMG I predicted E6 would make a splash. I looked at that team. I saw what JP from COD Stats was saying about them,
He was hyping them up, man.
and I
JP was like, yeah. JP
I was drinking that Kool-Aid, man. I was like, you know what? eSports is gonna go far. Did I think they would go as far as they did? Absolutely not. But I'm really happy that I was right.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's a shame they didn't get to the finals. I would have loved to see them in the grand final because I think that performance all weekend was deserved of that.
Yeah.
But for today's Beyond the Scoreboard, we got some really interesting stats which may surprise a lot of you.
Yes.
And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
It was just insane. So E6, they win their group. I mean, they defeat Envy, ON, Orbit, ISO. Only open bracket team to win a series.
And they won that group.
Yes.
Which was just
Incredible.
absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Has anyone ever done that before?
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't think of anyone who did.
I don't think they have. Once they made it to the championship bracket, they faced very tough competition, took care of Vex very quickly, and then took care of Elevate. Now, Elevate's second in the Pro League. Okay, so this is really where you can kind of look at it and go, it's inside the championship bracket. There's none of this like pool play nonsense, upset crap. It's finally, all right, you're playing a team second in the Pro League, and they beat them. And you kind of said that, you're like, wow, okay, this was an impressive performance.
Yeah. But I mean, you see how this team kind of gets by. I mean, we can fast forward a little bit. Show their KDs from
This is truly just
Ontario and then
ridiculous.
talk about it.
What?
None of them went positive. No
Nobody
one had a
goes
1
positive.
KD.
General, the 0.9, the highest on the team. 0.87 for Cade. 0.82 for Exhibit B. M. Ruiz with a 0.82 as well. They only outslayed their opponent in 17% of total maps.
Just think about
That's
that.
insane.
Just think about that.
So how are they winning?
So,
Yeah.
so this is what's going on. We
Good
actually
question,
have their
Will.
game type records here. S&D, they go 8-3. Uplink, they go 4-2. Those two game modes are so teamwork oriented. That's how they got by. Just great teamwork. Hardpoint, they go 3-5. That's wrong. 2-5 in the CTF.
Okay.
So that basically explains A, why everyone had negative KD, and B, why they're getting outslayed so much. To only outslay 17% of maps, the majority of them are going to be Search and Destroy too. Those outslayed maps, although it's not going to be like, oh, you know, we outslayed you by like 10 kills, could only be 1 or 2 kills, but that's where they're really outslaying their opponents, so to speak. But their success in Game 5s, they 4-0'd every single Game 5. They didn't lose a single Game 5 throughout pool play and bracket play. Best in the tournament.
Talk about grace under pressure. These guys.
For a team like that, who's
if
never
you're
played on that stage,
Yeah, if you're on that main stage for the first time, wow.
they didn't lose it,
they
which makes you think, what happens if they'd have won that CTF against Ultra Gaming?
They go to that S&D.
Do they go to that S&D and win? To not lose a single Game 5. And bear in mind, think about how often a team like that's going to go to a Game 5. If you can't win a half point,
All the time,
you can't win a CTF.
If you're relying on S&D and Uplink, that's.
I mean,
it's
you
kind
have
of
to
the
force
same
it.
exact formula that TR had, right? Except TR was better in CTF. That was
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
Like, TR stunk at hardpoint, great in search, great in uplink, great in CTF. It's the only thing this team was missing. If they were really good in CTF, who knows what would happen?
is it fair to say they're kind of like the next TR?
No.
No? You don't rate this team as high as TR? Bear in mind what they just did. I completely disregard the loser bracket final. To me, that's completely irrelevant.
Oh, so do I.
It may as well not have even happened. They were so demoralized. They used
Yeah.
so much energy in that winners bracket.
It's tough. Like, they had like a magical run, like a crazy run.
Can they do it again in your mind? Is that a one-hit wonder?
Do you get by? Like, how many tournaments do you get by going 5 and 10 in hardpoint and CTF combined? Like, how many times? Like, I would love to know how many of those S&Ds like went like far. Like, how many of them were like
I know
6-4, 6-5?
Two of them
like,
were round 11.
So it's like those go the other way.
But they didn't. Not a single one did. Like,
Then that's
that
then
4-0
they're
in a
6
game
and
5.
Then they're 6 and 5. If those go the other way in round 11s, they're 6 and 5 in that. And then it's like they were great enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get that timing and luck all the time. I definitely think they're gonna stay around. I don't think they go anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they qualified for season 3.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I would love to see them in the,
that'd be
in
awesome.
the season.
Absolutely.
But how do they get better at the respawn? Hardpoint, very bad. CTF,
One of them's just gonna
really,
have to
really
step.
bad.
One of them's just gonna have to step up and just start killing people. It might be because they run too many AR. They run like 3 ARs. Remember that?
Yeah, that's definitely could be one of the reasons. But you would
Yeah.
think at that point, if you're playing so slow, you're just gonna sit back and kill things.
The game's fast. You're not gonna do that.
the way
Hardpoint
they,
and AW.
well, definitely not in Hardpoint, but in like CTF, for example,
Right, that's what's confusing. They were great teamwork, and they
right.
weren't good in CTF.
they were terrible at CTF. 2 and 5 after a positive Uplink, and it's phenomenal S&D records. Craziness. It's just a fairy tale story coming out of E6 at UMG Cali. I really think that was one of the most dominant performances in an event.
Oh yeah,
that we've seen.
that was extremely impressive, especially with Open, like how many games you have to play.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
stamina. You think they come in fresh? If this team comes in with a seed and they're fresher, how does that affect their game?
Right, maybe they put up better KDs.
But it's also the opposite is true though, because you just put them straight into pool play.
Right.
They don't have that kind of like hype of, yo, we just came out of open play, like we didn't lose a series, we're the best team. Like you don't have that.
Or these
hype
teams
and
are
momentum.
prepared, like, hey, we need to actually.
Right. Oh, who's E6?
This isn't going to be like a walkover match. Yeah.
Right. Because I feel like we've seen him in 2Ks and 5Ks that we can, but no one really.
Right,
takes
but
him
nobody.
seriously.
Yeah.
Which
But
now I think you can have
They've
to
knocked
have
out
to.
Denial in so many 2Ks and 5Ks. Like,
But
they
people just
should
call them
be-
online warriors though. That's
Right.
the thing. They're like, oh, you know, these guys posted up 3 IMRs. It's like, okay, great.
But if
Oh,
you're going up against
People
like,
are stupid mostly.
Yeah.
But what's also worth noting, they didn't agree to. Oh, sorry, they agreed to all the kind of secret bans pro players do. So they weren't even running any IMRs. There was no crazy like trophy shield combinations, which you saw like hovering and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it kind of proves again, though. Once again, such a strike can win you championships.
Yep.
Because in this game, more than ever, it's kind of been like, oh, you know, you don't need to just win SD, SVE, blah blah blah. But
D is super
8
important.
and 3 record, like TR was the exact same way at champs.
Yeah.
Like it's
Very interesting. I 100% agree with you.
Although I did see a big argument between who's better, E6 or TR. And I'm like, meh. Also, I think Stunner was in that argument too from UMG Orlando.
Yeah, Stunner's my homies, dude. Don't talk ish about my boy
Stunner
TJ.
top 8, baby. Stunner top 8.
Don't talk
Anyway,
ish
chat.
about my boy TJ.
Let us know what you think. Could E6 be the next TR? I think maybe so. For now, we're going to head over to a quick commercial break. On return,
Pro League recap.
all things Pro League. And oh my god, there is so much Pro League.
A lot of stuff.
So much.